He is Vice President of Education of the Upstanders Toastmasters Club. Good morning, Vimal.
Good morning, Gail, and good morning, everybody.
Great to see you all in red. I'm loving it. And then lastly, for this first part of our panel, we are going to also welcome Zara Marian. Good morning, Zara.
Good morning.
Zara is presently president of the Two Broadway Club. Good morning, panelists.
Good morning.
Morning.
If I could ask our Zoom master, maybe you could put us in Spotlight or something so that we're just a little easier to find on the screen. I'd appreciate it. So let's move on with our three panelists. So the three of you, thank you so much, have held successful, effective open houses in your home clubs. Let's start with some really simple questions. First, why did you host an open house? There are so many reasons, as you know. Was it a regularly scheduled event? Maybe there was a District 119 special incentive, like a banner, something to hang on our banner, etc. So why did you decide to host an open house? We'll start with you, Vimal.
In our situation, it was a Hail Mary situation, to be honest. 2 years ago, 2022, our club membership went down to 5 members. So we did not have any other choice other than having to do an open house to attract more members into our club to fight for our survival, basically. And we got into Zoom mode due to the pandemic. And before that, we were based in Woodside, Queens. And then we learned that that structure wasn't working for us anymore, and we wanted to take advantage of the world opening up and coming back to the real world. We did a lot of field survey, and we figured that maybe it's a good idea to do once a month in-person meeting, and why not in Manhattan? So we decided to explore spot, and we found a beautiful spot in West Village in the LGBT Center. And we worked for about a month to basically train our members how to actually do a meeting in person, because most of our members were COVID babies, basically joined Toastmasters during COVID and had no idea how to run meetings in person. So it was a huge undertaking. I did that as part of my DTM project, and everybody came on board, and we worked really hard, and we invited a lot of members. And at that time, having an in-person open house right after COVID was a thing. So we were able to attract a lot of guests and a lot of members from other clubs, and it was quite successful. And within a year, we grew up to 15 members, and we were able to meet DCP goals and become a perfect 10 club within a year after that open house.
Wow, Vimal, that is an amazing story. Thank you for sharing. So basically, your club was dying, and you guys held an open house and attracted 15 members and brought it back to life. That's an amazing story. Thank you so much. We're going to follow up on that in just a moment. But right now, I want to ask Zara that same question. Why did you guys over at Two Broadway host an open house?
Thank you very much, Gail. One of the reasons why we host open houses is obviously attracting membership. And whenever we're spending money on entertainment, or we'd like to make it a bigger event, and so we use that as a venue for open houses. The other two reasons is we're a corporate club, and we want to increase awareness of Toastmasters within the organization so that people know that there is this tremendous resource called Toastmasters. And the third reason is we have a tradition of having open houses. Began with our prior president, Eli Popovits, on Veterans Day. With that, we have a few veterans in our club, and it's become a tradition that every Veterans Day we have an event. And so we're now thinking about using this tradition, expanding it to some of the other months where there are holidays, such as Black History Month, Women's Month, Hispanic Month.
That sounds amazing, Zara. Thank you. Question, what company is To Broadway with? It's a corporate club attached to whom?
We're attached to the New York City subway system, MTA.
And so it's open to, well, yours is a special situation, right? You're open to MTA employees and also the public, is that right?
Correct.
So when you hosted your open house, obviously you wanted to get the word out within the MTA, but did you also put that put the word out outside of your company?
Yes, the vehicle we used was, obviously, we were lucky we have a good VP, excellent VP of public relations, and she did broadcast it on social media. We also use this opportunity to reach out to people who've indicated an interest in To Broadway Club. So that was another vehicle to get the word out to outside
And
potential candidates.
I love that you guys have an anniversary, quote unquote, open house every year on a particular holiday. That is a great idea.
Thank you.
I tell you, walking in past presidents' footsteps and keeping the tradition alive. That's great, Zara. And Denise, I want to bring you in here as well, all the way from Elmer, Sperry. Why did you at your club, well, which club was this? I know you're also a member of New York Foodies, but for the open house in question, was this from Elmer Sperry? And why did you guys decide to have an open house?
Thank you, Gail. Yes, this was for Elmer Sperry. We are in New Hyde Park. We have a lovely meeting location, and we also have a hybrid, an online. We could go online or be in the meeting room. Similar to Zara, Elmer Sperry, we hold an open house every year. We hold at least one. I think we always say we're going to hold two, but we hold at least one. The 2 years ago when we had our open house, our membership was quite low, and the open house brought in on that day 4 members and I think 2 others right after that. So it really got us to a point where we wanted to be. This year, our membership was pretty healthy, but we still decided that we didn't want to not have an open house because, as Sandra said, there is always attrition, and we wanted to keep our numbers high. So we followed a lot of the same practices that we had for our open house the previous year, and again had a really, really great response. And now I believe we're at 30 members, which is higher than since I had been in the club, and I've been in the club for 10 years.
Amazing. So it was all a positive experience for the 3 of you in your 3 clubs. You gained membership, amazing. But there are other benefits as well that I'd like to go into. When you host an open house, no one and I always invoke Nancy Garlick whenever I'm speaking, but as Nancy Garlick would say, you voluntold people to do things. But the good thing about there are really good things about being voluntold in Toastmasters. I'm sure Nancy right now is shaking her head. And one of them is the camaraderie. There are so many benefits outside of membership, increasing membership, of course, that you get from an open house. There's camaraderie, there's team building. Talk to us about that. Some of the other benefits that you got from hosting your open house.
For
I think
me,
I'll go. Oh, yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, we'll put that out. We'll start with Vimal since he's here.
Cool. One thing that we really benefited by doing open houses is it is a kind of a production in a way. It's a small mini theater production. So that gave us opportunity to try out different ideas, to be really innovative. And it's a great opportunity to shake up the agenda. Having open house once a year is like a test field for you to, how about I'm going to move the evaluation towards the end of the meeting, or how about let's have a grammarian, or how about let's remove this section. Can we try out different ways to do it? So since we get to meet multiple times ahead of open house to practice and rehearse the whole thing, it's a great opportunity to shake up so that we can get to try a different type of agenda for the next year until the next open house. And we tried different ideas, and some of them worked, some of them did not, but we keep that as a item.
What didn't work, Vimal?
What did or didn't?
What did not work?
what did not work was having too much of rehearsal. So what we learned is rehearse the form, don't rehearse the content. We learned it in our first open house. We worked a lot. We rehearsed every single thing. Every single word was rehearsed. And then when we got closer to the open house, we all got nervous as if it was some sort of a performance. So from that, what we learned is rehearse the form, meaning who's talking first and how they're going to introduce the next speaker and what all going to be the items. And we rehearsed the form so much the next open house that we gave full freedom to the individual speaker to do whatever content they wanted to do within their item. So we learned that rehearse the form. If the form is very well set, the framework is very well set, then you can do anything within that.
So let it happen a little bit more organically. So kind of like what we do in a Toastmasters meeting. We have a set agenda, but then from there we have a framework. We know what's coming, when, the metrics, and then we just let it flow from there. Is that right?
Yep, absolutely.
And then a follow-up question or two, what worked? So we know that over planning when it came to the panel didn't work, but what did work for you?
We came up with this idea of a theme. We did not have themes before that. And since then, we've been having theme. And there is a shortcut to introducing theme is do a Google search and bring 5 fun facts around the theme. And the Toastmaster of the day is going to just spit out that one fun fact between 2 sections, and then another fun fact, and third and fourth, and then for the conclusion, do the 5th fun fact. So we actually cheated our way around the whole idea of theme by just motivating the Toastmaster of the day to just come with 5 fun facts if they could not put in a lot of effort into doing research, and which we still been doing that, and it's pretty effective. Yeah.
It sounds like what happened in your open house kind of trickled into your regular meetings, and it's really just kind of changed things and made them a little bit more alive over there at Upstander. And Zara, let's bring you in here as well. Same question.
Well, we had 3 open houses, which had different focus. The first focus was on Atomic Habits, that book by James Clear, and ethical leadership. The audience for that open house was our trainees and
So corporate trainees in the MTA.
Individual people. The second open house was the veterans. And in that one, we used the topic of emotional intelligence from a veteran's perspective. And so the 4 speakers, panelists, were from different parts of the veteran community, and they were sharing from a concept using the Miracle on the Hudson with Sully Sullenberger as a veteran whose prior experience being a veteran equipped him well for for private life. So we wanted to get a sense of how the experience of being a veteran gave them the same platform where they could be empowered in their private life. And that was tremendously interesting because we used the Sully Sullenberger framework, and each one of the panelists spoke to it. The third open house was a holiday event, a party. And, for a party, you get more people than everyone comes.
Offer food. It always works, right?
Food works. And we were fortunate to have the trio. Melvin was on Zoom and Lisa came, so that made a big difference having people in the room. Again, food is a draw, but what we are finding we're choosing topics which are of interest to the general audience, and that's another way of attracting people to open houses. So we're really delighted to be being an opportunity for the organization to think about different topics and hear from people who are on their way to being good speakers. So
Absolutely.
it's a networking opportunity for the panelists and for the people who attend.
Thanks, Zara. Denise, same question to you.
Well, first, one thing that I think is really important is an open house is not successful if no one shows up. And we have unfortunately had that in the past in Elmer Sperry. We went through all of the trouble of planning, buying refreshments, and basically we were an audience of our members. So what I think really, really helps is from day one, our VPM understands that part of their job is to keep a database of every person who inquires about the club, every person who walks into our club as a guest. We do use we have Toast, and that makes it a little bit easier because we have past members in there. In the past, we have reached out to our past members at open houses and have had past members rejoin. So I think it's really, like, to me, that's really, really important. You have to have a database of people, and the people who have gone to your meeting before and haven't joined are really, really great people to reach out for. Our VPPR created a really nice flyer, and we made the decision as an executive board to call this a fall welcome event. Our event was on November 28th versus an open house, because we know that that's something that Toastmasters International has recommended is as important, the way that you're marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So we did market it that way. And what I really felt important as president, I've been president of this club on and off for a long time. We have a board now that has 5 really new members, and they are fabulous. So we had a planning meeting, but then I left most of the actual execution and planning to the VPM and the VPPR, because I wanted them to see what it was about and that they could do this, and hopefully to encourage them to move up into our ranks in the coming year. And we also asked all of our members who were at the meeting, obviously, to invite people, but also we are lucky in Elmer Sperry that we have round tables available to us. So we always set up our open house at round tables to make it a little bit more friendly. And then we ask all of our members, spread yourself out, find a guest, talk to them, make them feel comfortable, give them any information that they need. So it is a way that it energizes the entire, it energizes all of our members. Like they feel part of this event that we're doing to inject some more excitement into our club.
A few things to follow up there, Denise. First of all, I love that your current board has so many new members. It's just a lot of new energy, new ideas. It's exciting for a club. And also, I wanted to follow up on something that you said about one of your open houses where you sat there with the food looking at each other because it really wasn't successful. What do you think went wrong there? What did you learn, and what did you do differently the next time?
What we learned there was that you just can't think you're having an open house and expect people to know. So like if you had, I think that open house was not promoted. So you need to promote your open house, both, like I said, by reaching out to your database and also by using social media. And that was really our learning, and that was something that we had to work harder at and have a better plan for.
So the next time, that's what you did differently. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
great learning experience, right? Teaching tool right there. So today so far, we've looked at the importance of open houses, and we've also looked at some of the benefits, team building, etc. Of course, obviously membership. And also I would like to, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat so we can ask our dynamic panelists as we go along. So please feel free. Let's make this interactive. Any questions that you have, just pop them in the chat. Now I'd like to move into a little bit more of the nuts and bolts of how to, now that we've looked at importance and benefits. So we all 3 clubs mentioned that you had speakers or that you had panelists. So let's talk about the how to. How did you go about planning that for your open house? And also, how did you find those speakers? Walk us through that in that situation and experience. Vimal, we'll start with you.
Sure. I'm in this lucky situation because I've been competing for many years. So I have a good network of fellow competitors, competitive speakers, and
And
mentors.
Vimal, are you right now the reigning District 119?
Mark took it from me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. But you've won the district so many times. Absolutely. So I'm sorry. I wanted to give you some props, but keep going.
Thank you, thank you. So that way I'm friends with Mark and many other contestants from the past, and so it's kind of easy for me to reach out to them and also reach out to my mentors who help me with competitions. So hey, come here and then make a speech for us, and they're usually always, if they're available, they're happy to come and give a guest speech. So take part in competitions. If not, at least go watch competitions so that you get to watch different types of speakers and then see what speaker might be a good asset to your open house. And you can always go recruit them, talk to them, make friends with them, and they're usually very happy to come and be part of open houses, because after all, it is an opportunity for them to try out, test out their speech as well and get feedback.
Right. And also the district trio, you could always reach out to them for a speaker as well. They are so ready to jump in and help. But I also remember, Vimal, did you say that you did a panel discussion as well at one of your open houses?
We did not do panel houses. Panel discussion in our open house is probably Denise, I believe. I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
not in our club, not in our open house.
But the a speaker like Mark obviously draws a lot of attention. So what a great idea. So thanks for sharing. Have a speaker like Mark come to speak. That's a great way to get people in the club doors. Zara, tell us about how you went about getting your speaker or panel for your club.
Again, being a corporate club at the MTA, we have the advantage of getting to know people, and that's an opportunity that is terrific, because as we find out a little bit about people, we can reach out and say, hey, would you like to be a panelist? So, and our meetings, including the open house, are hybrid. I would say half of the people attend to the open house via Zoom, and the rest were in-house. Like Marilyn Sampson and Lisa Koo were in-house, came to Melvin Garlick was on the Zoom. It's actually a very interesting experience trying to get speakers and trying to come up with topics that would be relevant, that a speaker could speak about.
Mhm.
I'm now interested in speaking about something in technology, so I'm thinking processes. Who do I know in technology who would be a good speaker for a panel that we may be doing in the future?
Mhm. Thanks, Zara. And Denise, how did you guys come up with your open house speaker?
We have never used a speaker who was not a member of our club.
Okay.
We decided as a team that we would like to use someone in the club because we want guests when they come there to feel that they could be someone in that club. Like, we feel like there may be some intimidation factor if they come in and there's this like fabulous speaker and they're like, well, I'm never going to be that.
Right. If you
So
come in
what
and you
we
hear Mark, and you know, that might scare you even because he's so good.
Exactly. So what throughout the year we listen to members who do icebreakers, because some of our members have done icebreakers that were so focused on why they joined Toastmasters and what Toastmasters did for them that we felt that they were good choices. Well, I will tell you, for our agenda, every person is asked and handpicked. So from the Toastmaster to the table topics master to the quiz master to the evaluator to the speaker, it is not an open house is not a meeting that we put an agenda on our site and say, come and sign up. Like, we choose the people who we think are going to best represent the club and best represent Toastmasters. And so, yeah, we've never had a guest speaker. And I do want to say, because I actually asked my VPPR, CC George, and my VPM, Rupinder Bagoon, what they felt, to give me some pointers about like what they felt worked well in the open house. And they both stressed to me, and I haven't said it then, we started planning this 1.5 months in advance. And I just think that that's really important. Like you can't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, our next meeting is going to be an open house." Like you need a lot of planning to do an open house. I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there as far as setting yourself up a timetable.
Mhm. Jim also just chimed in and said what they do at their open house is they have a novice speaker, so someone who is approachable, right? A speaker who is just someone people can relate to, a novice speaker, followed by a DTM speaker before and after. So I guess they kind of use the sandwich approach with speakers. So a DTM speaker, a more novice speaker, and then a DTM speaker to kind of round things out. That sounds like a great idea, Jim, just to kind of get an idea of the different levels of speaking and to kind of, I guess, break down barriers to people who might just be there for the first time and, make them feel as if it's okay. There are different levels of speakers in the club. So thanks for that. And yes, it's a perfect way to have someone relatable and also someone aspirational. Thank you so much, Emily. Yes, and we love that sandwich as well, Emily. Someone mentioned in the chat earlier about Meetup. As a district, we do use Meetup. What was your experience using Meetup, if at all, attracting people to your open houses? I will start with you, Vimal. I'm sorry.
Problem? Yes, we as a club, we take advantage of all the social medias there is. We are on Eventbrite, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, our district's Meetup group. The advantage of using Meetup is that we don't have to create an individual event every single time. We can just go back and then copy the previous event and then just paste it onto the new date and then change the image, because we also as a club come up with interesting, weird, and very colorful looking posters. And that's been pretty successful since day one. So we kind of kept up with just really go full on out there, like a really colorful and all kinds of interesting emojis on top of it, colorful candies, and depending on the theme. So we just slap on top of the copied content on Meetup, and then that's all we had to do. And then we just have to save and promote it out there. And Meetup is a great way to put ourselves out there to other Toastmaster members, because since this Meetup group is run by our district, most of the members on the Meetup are already part of our District 119. So it's a good way for other members to come and check our clubs out. If somebody is looking for a speech slot, that's a great way to put yourself out there. So if somebody's looking, they can come and deliver their speech in our club. And we do the same as well when we have a lot of speech targets to meet up our DCP goals, and we don't have enough slots. Meetup is a great place to go look at calendar and then see what other clubs are out there, and then reach out to them and then network and take advantage of it.
And a follow-up of them all. First of all, you got a lot of kudos for the emoji-filled text messages sent by Upstander to keep people interested. So kudos on that. And that's another great idea to keep people interested. And also, Penelope was wondering, you do a lot of posters and a lot of colorful advertising, which we love. Do you how does it work with the branding, with the Toastmasters branding? Do you make sure that Toastmasters logo is on there? Anything in particular, any guidance for us putting that together?
Yes, there is a Toastmaster watermark PNG, which is basically a transparent logo, which we found. And since then, we just, poster we design, we just leave a corner and then we just slap on top of it. And it's been working wonders for us. In terms of the poster in itself, there is a free app called Slides to Go, I believe.
Those, can you put that in the chat for us too?
Yes, I will. I'm going to search and then find the exact URL, and I'm going to share it in a second. And they have a lot of free deck that you can search. And we usually pick a theme like, what is that Irish festival? The St. Patrick's
Yes.
festival,
In March.
or yeah, and then it could be anything like that, New Year's Eve or Christmas holidays, and you will find some set of decks on that app. And then we basically customize it and then make it a lot more colorful. And then we put our content, and then you can download it in any format that you want. And then we will slap the Toastmasters logo on top of it and then make a JPG format out of it. And then we use it on Meetup and Eventbrite and Instagram and all of that. I will share the link in a second.
Yes, definitely drop that for us in the chat. And Lisa reminds us that Zara started her open house with a poem that she wrote. And that was part of your themed New Year's meeting. Was that right, Zara?
Thank you for mentioning that, Lisa. Yes, we are finding including poems as a part of the introduction for our Veterans Day in Flanders Fields, where poppies lie, was the theme of that open house. And opening it up with a poem obviously brings certain emotion to it, and people seem to like it. And now that's become a part of our bi-weekly meetings, in that people are selecting poems as a part of when they're choosing the word of the day. And we started the new year with the word happiness.
That's a great way to start. And I love that these are now becoming traditions in your bi-weekly meetings.
Thank you. Yes, we're enjoying that. Maya Angelou, there's so many wonderful poets that we can bring into our.
Absolutely. It's limitless. And I'd like to ask you guys, as seasoned open housers, seasoned open house coordinators and facilitators of successful open houses, what advice would you give to a club that only meets online as far as open houses? It seems to be a double-edged sword, right? It seems like it's a great advantage to be online because you can attract everyone in the world. And then it seems a disadvantage because you can attract everyone in the world. So talk to us. Do you have any guidance for the clubs that meet online only as far as attracting members and attracting them during open houses, or even just the how-tos of putting an open house together? We'll start with whoever wants to jump in.
Well, I think the topic is, if the topic is interesting, I think the hybrid meeting, I'm sorry, a virtual meeting would attract as many people as an in-person meeting. Of course, food is such a big draw, but in our case, it's almost a difficult situation, because then we have too many people coming. A problem which many people would like to have, but when you run out of food, that's another issue that you're dealing with. But I think the draw is the people and the topic.
So even if it's online or in person, but specifically when you're online, it's the people and the topic. Vimal, Denise, any guidance for online clubs having an open house?
So we are all about, in our club, how to have fun with it. There are a lot of Toastmasters clubs that are very strict or have a strong form and things like that. In our club, yes, we have a strong form, but then within that form, we really try to go crazy and have fun with it. So let's take advantage of Zoom media there, where we can actually use interesting filters. If there is a theme, if it's a holiday theme, we can always look for a filter with lots of colorful lights.
Right.
So we can encourage our members to, yeah, let's all have, colorful lights, or let's all have cool sunglasses, or we encourage our members to come up with, if the theme is about traveling, come up with a great image or picture of a place that you want to go, and then use that as your wallpaper.
Mhm.
So when a guest shows up, they see, wow, this is like an explosion of colors and all these interesting information, and they get to see and enjoy that. And it's all about taking advantage of the technology that's out there.
Yeah, those are great ideas. Thanks, Vimal. Denise, any special tips or advice for online clubs hosting an online open house?
Well, for Elmer Sperry, we really are primarily in person. But for the other club that I am involved with, New York Foodies, that's a totally online club. We have not had an open house yet, but we are planning one. And how because we're all about food, and that is such a universal thing. What we're going to try to do is to ask our members to post on like if they're involved like in any sort of Facebook foodie group, and any other group that they might be involved in that would be people who have an interest in food. And we will also just try to our VPPR, who is Lisa Q. I know she talked about, we will start like to if we're asking our members, post photographs when you're at a restaurant, and then we can do a hashtag to that restaurant and try to get restaurants to pick it up, so that we could just expand the amount of people who actually know about our club.
These are great ideas. Thanks, Denise. First of all, and I think people in the chat agree that it seems a little counterintuitive to have a food club online, but maybe there's smell-o-vision. But I love what you said, everything about if you have an affinity group. So if you are some sort of specialty club, or a club with an affinity group, invite that affinity group to your club. That's great. Those are great ideas. Thank you. And we'll all be seeing you hopefully one day soon in person to enjoy the food at New York Foodies Toastmasters Club. So as we are just kind of winding down here, I would like to ask you guys for some final thoughts before we bring in two more Toastmasters to our panel. So we'll just go around. Final thoughts on open houses, Vimal?
Yes, compared to our first open house, which we did in 2022, we took a different strategy for 2023 because our focus for 2023 was retention. So it is important to set the goal. Are we interested in the growth, or are we interested in retention? So that will be a guiding star as how we want to plan and design our Toastmasters open house. What we did this time was we did a casino theme open house, and we did not do a bunch of promotion because we wanted that to be a fun experience for our existing members. And then we all came with costumes, and then we did the casino games. We set up tables, and we played casino game for about half an hour to an hour, which all of our members and guests like Lisa Q and Emily, even though they did not win any prizes, they all enjoyed being part of it. And that way we also did some fundraising. Instead of taking the money and do a raffle, we took the money and we gave them chips to play this game for a chance to win prizes. So the last thought is get creative.
Yeah.
And anything is fair game in open house. That's one opportunity for us to shake things up and try something new and go on a little adventure.
Thanks, Vimal. Great ideas right to the very end. Zara, final thoughts?
Open houses are wonderful for the members. They feel proud of being a Toastmaster and showcasing how they've grown. And it's wonderful to see people like Emily online and some of the others. It's a really great event. And I also feel it's, with the kind of themes we choose, it's a very enriching experience both for the Toastmasters and those who are joining.
Thanks, Zara. And Denise?
Thank you. My advice would be, give yourself time to plan, put together a strong team, make sure that there's open communication with your team throughout. Make sure your guests are really taken care of when they're in that room. And we also have we only have one speaker at our open houses because we want to try to get every guest in that room to be able to come up for table topics. And also follow up, like we have a guest book, so we know everyone who comes in, and our VPM continues to follow up with those people who came to our open house and didn't join that day for whatever reason. So the continuing reaching out to guests, you just never know when somebody might be ready in a few weeks or a month to come back and to actually join.
Thanks, Denise. And thank you to our panelists, Vimal, Zara, and Denise, for setting us up with some amazing stories. We talked about the importance, benefits, and how-tos of your successful open houses from 3 absolutely dynamic Toastmasters. So thanks for joining us. And I know right now everyone in the audience is probably thinking, Vimal, Zara, Denise, they did such an amazing job, but how can I do this at my club? I wish that I had some sort of tools or kit to help me put together my own open house at my own club. Well, guess what? District 119 has an open house kit to help all of us put together our own successful open houses. And here to tell us a little bit about our District 119 open house kit are Sue Brooks, DTM, from Leaders or Readers Toastmasters Club. Welcome, Sue. And also Lisa Q from Advanced Public Speakers. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, good morning, all fellow officers.
So
all right.
it
Yeah.
seems like putting together an open house, it's a labor of love. It's a lot of work. And then you get a great payoff. But I know that to alleviate a lot of the planning and a lot of the logistics and a lot of the hard work and coordination, that you two, Sue Brooks and Lisa Q, have come up with an open house kit. Tell us what it is. Sue, we'll start with you.
Oh, actually, we're going to start with
Actually,
Lisa.
I'm sorry. We'll start with Lisa. Lisa, we'll start with you.
Okay. All right. The story is that before the holiday, I proposed this idea to the trios. I think we need to strengthen up the membership. Why? Because any organizations and growing customers, it is a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong task. If you cannot survive and you cannot thrive without members, we cannot even survive. So that I propose that in the Sue generously with me spent only 1 week in creating this kit. What's inside the kit, Sue is going to present and to share with you. Our idea is that with this kit, you don't have to do too much of recreate, and you can use the template and as you need it. And but I have to say this kit is not 100% perfect because every club is different. We try to put in the, like, for example, follow-up letters for corporate clubs, for online clubs, for in-person clubs. So it's not complete, but we welcome everybody give us the feedback and we continue to enrich this folder. So without further ado, I will give it to Sue. So she's going to share with you what is inside this kit and that you can use.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Here we go. This is the kit. Our Open House Kit 2024, as Lisa described, is a wealth of resources for you to access. On top, you will see 4 folders followed by 4 single documents. In each of the folders are a wealth of resources for you.
I'm sorry, we're not seeing the kit.
Oh dear.
Oh, I can see it.
I can see it as well, Sue. Let's see.
Okay. Perhaps it's your settings then. Anyway, we've created a kit. We have 4 folders followed by 4 single documents, and in each of the folders, there are a plethora of resources. As Lisa stated, this is a living document, and it will be evolving over time. After I speak, I'm going to turn it back to Lisa, and after Lisa wraps up, we will be sharing the link to this resource kit with you. to use. So let's get started. The top folder is a guest kit. In there are the things that you should have prepared in advance to share with your members. Some of them are documents prepared by Toastmasters International that Vice President's membership will have on file to give to their guests, whether you have an open house or not. Next, we have follow-up letters. As we discussed, follow-up is so important. After these wonderful people visit your club and your open house, you're going to want to reach out to them right away, and then again and again and again. Next up, there are flyers and graphics. These you can use as is or use as a creative spark for your own imagination to decide how you will customize your promotional material to get the word out based on your themes or your guest speakers. Our fourth folder, that's alliteration, is agendas. And in the agendas folder, you'll see some sample agendas used by different clubs that are either graphics-based or text-based, depending on whether you will be sharing things online, in person. If you're in person, you don't want to be spending a lot of ink, printing out a lot of heavy graphics. So use your imagination and good decision making. The first document is the open house kit checklist, which everybody should go through. There's the before, the during, and the after. And go through each of these phases step by step, and you're sure to be successful in your open house. After that, we have the open house invitation letter, which is one sample that you can consider using, customizing for your particular club's open house. It's a way to get started. Next, there are instructions for using Canva templates. There are two things you should keep in mind. First of all, Toastmasters International has prepared a document that has links to numbers of Canva templates for you to explore on your own. If you're a graphic designer or not, you can just plug and go, including your particular information. If you want to go a bit further and use other creative looks, there are instructions here on how to use these Canva templates. And finally, we'll be sharing, after Lisa speaks, contact for questions and support as you go through. At this point, I'd like to turn it back to Lisa to tie it up for us. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Sue. It is a really a document. It's a moving document. We are going to add more because we have all different kind of clubs, and clubs are all different, and some of them are specialty clubs and they need something, but most importantly, that focus on the audience that you want to advertise. And at the same time, I just want to say having an open house is really truly a teamwork. When you look into it, there is so many details, and I encourage officers today, please share the link, and Sue is going to give to you where this with your officer teams. You are not responsible for doing this by yourself. It's impossible. There's a tremendous amount of work. And as you can see, actually, most of the work is before the open house. And most of the work is done is before, how you strategize, how you design it, or the flyer, where you are going to advertise. And I cannot emphasize enough about the follow-ups. And we also, including follow-up letters, we have the first follow-up and then the second follow-up letters, when appropriate, to mention about the payments and the amount. And I think a lot of the Toastmasters we were a little bit shy away, intimidated by making the request, ask them just pay and to join. And so most important, you go there and you pick whatever the documents that resonate to your audience, to your club, and use it and share with your team. And most importantly, just do it. If you have the open house, it doesn't matter, you have 100 questions you need us to answer, and you have our contacts in that document, and just do it. When you have open house, have fun of having it, and also increase your membership. That is really our pleasure of doing this work for you and for the district. And I think that's about it. And I'm going to invite Sue to put the link of that shared folder in the chat. It seems like she's already shared it. And at the same time, our district director confirmed that the recording of this whole panel discussion, as well as with the shared folder link, are going to post it on our district website. And enjoy. We're here always to help, to support. And I will turn this back to our fabulous panelist, facilitator, Gail Lewis.
Thanks, Lisa. And thank you, Sue. I see those open house resources for more information and the link to the open house kit 2024 right there in the meeting chat. Also, I want to remind everyone, just like Lisa said, if you need help coordinating a speaker or with logistical things, maybe you want to put together a panel for your own open house, or find a speaker and you're just not sure who to reach out to the trio. Mel Garlick, Lisa Q, and Sue Brooks will be happy to help you find a speaker, put together a panel to facilitate your open house. So the resources and of course the kit, everything ties together so perfectly. I feel as if Sue and Lisa, you've taken all of the heavy lifting out of putting together an open house.
We just hope that it's going to help support our clubs and officers.
Yeah, I am very much looking forward to going through the open house kit. And I'd like to take this time to thank Sue Brooks and Lisa Q for putting together our District 119 open house kit. Round of applause for you guys. Thank you. It's going to be an amazing resource. And like Lisa just said, it's a living document. So we're going to keep updating it and adding to it as needed. So thank you so much for all of your hard work. This is an amazing, impressive resource for our district. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank our panelists, Denise Collins from Elmer, Sperry and New York Foodies, Yum Yum, Vimal Pradeep, VPE from the Upstanders Toastmasters Club, formerly of Queens, now of Manhattan, and lastly, Zara Marian, president of 2 Broadway, which is one of those rare clubs that reaches out to the community and also to a corporation. Thanks so much, everyone, for allowing me to be your facilitator today. I'm Gail Lewis, and it's been my pleasure. I'm going to turn it over right now back to Sandra Albanese, I believe. Yes. So
yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gail.